Assalamu alaikum. We are going to cover also an important topic in Arabic, which is called case markings, or maybe you call it in Arabic al-i'rab. Al-i'rab. And al-i'rab, or it is the case marking, that's the equivalent maybe. It is the short vowels, or also we have another short vowels used in the end of the words. And usually, if you study like the Quran, or you study literature, or you'll find that these case markings used at the end of the words, and they are quite important for that one. And that's what you call it al-fusha, or standard Arabic. But if we remove these ones, usually we call them simplified standard Arabic. At the same time, also, if the sentence, like in the Quran, if you read a verse and if you stop, you don't put the case marking. For example, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You stop here. You don't put a case marking. You don't put a short vowel for ar-Rahim. And the same thing if you start with the Surah Al-Fatiha, you say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. You stop. But if you carry on, it's Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. So always it is optional for you, or maybe for people who read the text. If they stop the end of the sentence, they don't have to put the case marking, but if they continue, they put the case marking. So let us start from the beginning. Maybe I take it very simply. If I take this word, and you are familiar with it now, so you can see in English, I can put a house. So bayt, a house. So that in Arabic, we need to put something equivalent to it, if you like. So the things here we have to put is to put that symbol. It is this way. You can see it this way, or in some other, in the Quran, they use that symbol with two. And also in the print, maybe you can see it this way in the print. I would, for handwriting, maybe the best way is to put it like this way. And that is, as you see, it is like dhamma and with another dhamma. And that is the voice of it is un. So you can say un is the we call it also un. Here is, we call it tanween. Tanween is nunation. Tanween al-dham. Al-dham. Tanween al-dham is equivalent to a in English. If you say baytun. So here, if I want to pronounce it, it would be baytun. So baytun, like we have put the un. Un is the tanween. We call it tanween al-dham. Tanween al-dham. So let us write it again here. Baytun. So maybe in the old days, as you see, if you put a word for somebody, like let us say 1,000 years ago, maybe if you put a word bayt, he will read it as baytun, like a house, if you like. And if I want to put L, here I have to say al baytu. So when bayt is definite, I would say al baytu. While here baytun, here baytun, else when it is indefinite, I put the tanween al-dham here. While al baytu here, it is when I put L, I will never put the tanween al-dham. So we call it tanween al-dham. So here I would say al-baytu. bay 2. But I want you to remember here that if I don't put this one, if I say bait, it is fine, it's correct, but it is what we call it. It is simplified Arabic, it is informal Arabic. We can use it without the tanween. This is, we call it tanween. We have got here tanween. The other also maybe you can figure out if I take, for example, the other, if I take they, and I put two small, short, inclined strokes, like not just one. If I put two here, I would say this will pronounce as in. So it would be baytin, baytin. And as you see, maybe you say, okay, why do we use in here, baytin? We are going to explain it in the next session, but today I want just to make sure that you will be able to read these, what we call it, tanween, and that's here we call it tanween al-kasr, al-kasr, tanween al-kasr. You remember kasra, then you say al-kasr, like the tanween of the kasra, tanween al-kasr. And the voice is in, baytin. But at the same time, as you see, if I put al here, I should put kasra, al-bayti. So here it's al-bayti. It's not al-bayti, it is al-bayti. Short one, short vowel. So these are always, that's what you call it, the system of i'rab, of case marking. We are going to study them, and it's quite easy to follow. But today, I want to introduce you to make sure that you will be familiar with the case marking. So, baytin al-bayti, and that is the second one. The third one also, if I take bayt, and I want to put n. So that symbol here, it is n. And to put the n here, I have to put it on alif. I can't put it on its own, so I have to write it like they 10. So this is the pronunciation would be they 10, they 10. And as you see, maybe you say, okay, why should I put alif here? The answer is just because to make it different or to make it clear here, because we use a lot of adverbs with alif. So to indicate that is adverb, maybe we put alif with that one. But of course here, what you call it, tanween al-fatih, we call it tanween al-fatih. You need to remember that. Al-fatih. If the word ends with ta marbuta or tied up ta, we don't put alif. So because like if I say jamila, I don't put here alif here. I just put it like that. Jamilatan, if you like. Jamilatan. So that is here tanween al-fatih. Maybe you can say, okay, what about if I put L? Once you put L, that will return to what it is, fatha, ordinary fatha. So you can say jamilatan, baytan, but if I put L here, al-bayta. So here it is al-bayt. And if I take al-jamilata, the pretty, the beautiful, so I can put it here, al-jamilata. Al-jamilata. So what I want you to remember here, we introduced three case markings, or what you call them here. You have tanween, al-fatah, and al-fatha. So this is for at the end of the word, of the end of nouns, actually, of nouns. Nouns and probably adjectives. Because adjectives in Arabic also they are considered noun because they accept the tanween. So we have got tanween al-fatah with indefinite nouns, while here just al-fatha, the end of al-fatha, with definite nouns. So examples of that one, that's for tanween al-fatah and al-fatha. You can say al-bayta and baytan. That's one thing. And the second thing, we take it here, tanween al-dhamm and here it is like baytun, and we have got al-baytu. As you remember in Quran, you can see two small dhammas next to each other, and that means it is pronounced as un here. So we've got tanween al-fatih, tanween al-dhamm. Then the last thing we have got tanween al-kasr. And also you can say al-kasra. Tanween al-kasr, you can say like baytin. So here it is in, tin, like, and al-bayti. It's small, al-bayti. Al-bayti here, it is simply al-bayti. So these are, as you see, tanween al-kasr, al-kasra. Maybe you can say, okay, what is the original, or how, which of these three, what you call them, i'rabs or case marking, are the original? The answer is the dhamma and the tanween al-dhamm. So whenever I give you like one word, if I take here, I put al-baytu, then if I write another word like, so I read it here, this is a sentence, al-baytu jamilun, the house is pretty. So this is sentence, al-baytu jamilun. Maybe you can see that if we don't have auxiliary verb, so al-baytu jamilun. These are the case markings. They replace the what you call it, the auxiliary verbs, because we don't have them, but it will indicate al-baytu, that is the subject, and here we have got the jamilun, we call it predicate, as you say, al-baytu jamilun, the house is pretty. And the same thing, so we can, this is what you need to remember, is that the tanween al-dhamm and al-dhamma is the origin for any nouns if they are not preceded by preposition or if there is no reason for that. So let us take some more sentences. I want you also to look at two words here, or we call them, in Arabic we call them detached pronouns. In English we call them identity pronouns. So let us take this one here, and maybe you can take this one, and a third one, and a fourth one. So let us take these and practice. So ana is, what does it mean ana? Ana means I. And anta is you, masculine, put it in M. And maybe I can put another word is anti, feminine. I put this one, F. And huwa is he or it also, masculine. I put the M here. Huwa. And here is means she or it for feminine. So these are detached pronouns. I'll give you, maybe take them in more details in the next sessions, but at least I want you to remember أنا, أنت, هو, هي, أنت. So these are, we can use them detached. In Arabic, we call them detached pronouns. In English, we call them identity pronouns. So if I want to say, you are a student. If I want to say, you are a student. You are a student. So how do I use here? So you is أنت, and student is طالب. So you can say أنت طالب. So if I say أنت طالب, this is what you call it simplified Arabic, or let us say informal Arabic. Usually people, when they speak, when they are interviewed, they don't use the case marking that much. So you say أنت طالب. But if I want to make the language more formal, I need to use what you call the case marking or al-i'rab. So I say أنت طالب. أنت طالب. So أنت طالب, I have to put that simple here. So it is like this one. أنت طالب. As you see, the same meaning, but this is here, it is a formal, and maybe you can say written Arabic. So أنت طالب, أنت, we consider the subject, and طالب is the, as you say, it is the predicate, is the information given to the end. Maybe you can use the same word if I want to use it with هو طالب, as you see here. But if I want to say here, feminine, what should I add to طالب? طالب, a feminine. We have to use the tied up ta, to indicate the femininity of طالب. So it would be هي طالبة. هي طالبة. So as you see here, هي طالبة means this is a feminine here. So we have to make the طالب, طالبة, to make it feminine. Yeah, female, as you say. هي طالبة, هو طالب. The same thing I can say أنت for female, أنت طالبة. But as you say, this means it's you are a student. As you say, you are a student. As you see in English, we don't know the gender is not shown in the sentence, but in Arabic we have to show that one by using the ta marbuta to indicate the tied up ta, to indicate the femininity of the noun, of the person. هي طالبة, أنت طالبة, and for masculine, maybe I can put it أنت طالب. So that is here. Maybe you can see the use of هو, هي, أنت, أنت. These are what you call them detached pronouns. Maybe I can add also, just to for some more material, for some examples. If I say سيارة, سيارة means جميلة. You can see in English, usually I have to put, so جميلة is adjective, and سيارة is the noun. In English, you have to say a beautiful or a pretty car. So you can see the سيارة, it comes in English as a second after the adjective. You put the adjective, and But in Arabic, you put the noun, then you say, okay, what it is, you say, جميلة, سيارة جميلة. If I want to put it in as a definite, if I say السيارة الجميلة. So you can see السيارة is the noun, then followed by the adjective. In English, we put the adjective, but as you see in English, if I say the pretty car, I don't need to put the, I don't say the pretty the car, but in Arabic we have to say السيارة الجميلة. And the reason, as you see, because we start with the noun. If you start with the noun, you need to make the adjective definite with L, because otherwise, if I don't put this one, if I say السيارة الجميلة, it will be a sentence, because this is here, as you see, the pretty car. Arabic is very sensitive language. It's easy, simple language, but it is very sensitive, and it's easy to make mistakes if we don't follow the rules. And the reason for that is because the language doesn't have auxiliary verbs. So if I say السيارة الجميلة, it is not a sentence. We call it here noun adjective structure. So it is a phrase rather than a sentence. So that is here السيارة الجميلة, while here سيارة جميلة, a pretty car, as you see here. So the pretty car and a pretty car. So this is very important. That's what is one of the most important structures in Arabic, is we call it noun adjective structure, or we can call it also الصفة والموصوف. الصفة والموصوف. الصفة adjective, and الموصوف means the described one, if you like, the described one, which means, actually, it means in English, it means the noun. So الصفة والموصوف, we call it in English noun adjective structure. And remember here, we just repeat it again. If I say, for example, الطاولة, الطاولة means the table. الطاولة الكبيرة. الكبيرة, the big table, as you say. الطاولة الكبيرة, the big table. Now, my question: if I want to take the L off and I want to make it indefinite, what should I say? Can you repeat? Can you remember? It would be طاولة كبيرة. As you see here, طاولة كبيرة. And I want you to remember, this is like a formal, a written Arabic. But if I want to speak, I don't need to say طاولة كبيرة, because maybe I want to make it familiar. I want you to feel familiarized with me. I would say طاولة كبيرة. So when people speak, they don't use the case markings when they are interviewed or when they have a chat. They use just simply say طاولة كبيرة. But when they read a text, or when this is in a poetry, maybe they will say طاولة كبيرة. But if they stop, maybe they say طاولة كبيرة. So you can see it is very, like the language is very flexible. We can put طاولة كبيرة أو طاولة كبيرة و. That's it. I keep talking. Or we can say simply طاولة كبيرة if it is informal. So this is here the case markings. I just want to remind you also with the second one here. That's what you call it al-bayta and baytan. Baytan. So here al-bayta, al-bayta and baytan. So whenever you use here what you call the tanween al-fatah, we have to put it on alif. It is we don't like this alif is just to carrier of the tanween al-fatah, tanween al-fatah. And in the next sessions, I will explain why you use alif, maybe just my interpretation. So al-bayta and baytan here, as you see. And the last thing, as you see, we took it is with what you call it tanween al-kasr. So tanween al-kasr, if I take al-bayti, it will be with kasra and baytin. So remember, we use this tanween al-fatah, tanween al-dhamm, tanween al-kasr, al-fatha, al-dhamma, al-kasra with nouns and adjectives, not with verbs. In English, we use it nominative. They use the word nominative. They use accusative. And they use genitive. But actually, we don't need to learn some more words because we don't use them in English. What does it mean, nominative? Maybe in Latin or maybe in Russian, it means something. But in Arabic, nominative, I would say marfu, and accusative, mansub, and genitive, majroor. So maybe I would take this word marfu, mansub, majroor to means marfu is with tanween al-dhamm, mansub is with tanween al-fatah, and genitive is majroor. I can put them here maybe simply I'd say al-marfu أو الاسم المرفوع. الاسم المرفوع معناه the nominative noun. And that means here it is, for example, al-baytu or baytun. And maybe you can look at the al-ism al-mansub. Al-ism al-mansub يعني the noun which is accusative. Al-ism al-mansub. And al-ism al-mansub, we can take example, as you say here, al-bayta and baytan. Remember also that if the noun is ends with ta marbuta, we don't put this this alif. So if I say, for example, sayyarat 10, and the reason because the ta here doesn't accept any alif here. It is sayyarat. And the last thing here we have got al-ism al-marfu' wal-ism al-mansub. Maybe you can look at al-ism al-majroor. As you see, they use the word genitive, but we don't need it. Al-ism al-majroor, that is like I say, al-bayti, kasra, bayti, and we have baytin, baytin. It's the tanween al-kasr. We call it tanween al-kasr. I think that will give you, maybe we can take next week or in the next session, we take some more sentences, maybe you can take them from the Quran, where the case marking are used. like if you take Al-Fatiha, we can read them with the case marking, and that will give us a good practice on how to read the what you call it the case marking or al-i'rab. We take al-i'rab into on board now, and we can use them because what we are going to read, we are going to take all these case markings in studying Arabic. It is more a formal Arabic, but also you can use the informal if you want to speak. You don't need to use also the case marking. So both ways you are going to learn. Shukran. Thank you.